Welcome to the Online Success Journey Podcast, your opportunity to discover and learn from entrepreneurs like yourself. This is not your typical podcast, but a place where you can get the real story and find out how real people encounter speed bumps and detours, but journey through to find success. Now here's your host for the Online Success Journey Podcast, Patience.
Hello everyone and welcome to Online Success Journey. This is episode 285 and you will want to subscribe right now and ensure you will never miss a journey. The entrepreneurs that join me each week review the steps they took on their journey to success, and these steps reveal a path you can take as well. Today we have Caitlin Strempel, a CEO of Rising Ranks Digital and SEO expert and digital strategist who helps business owners get to the top of their industry by getting to the top of Google. Hello, Caitlin.
Hi, how are you, Patience?
I'm fine, thank you. I know my audience are excited to hear your story, but just by telling us one thing, we are going to learn from you today that will help us on our journey to success.
I think they're going to find out, the first steps of what it takes to really become more visible in their business and in their lives in general.
I'm looking forward to that. Let's get started with the basics. Can you tell my client a little bit about your background, about what you did before you started your own online business?
Yes. So I have always been in the marketing world. It was my major in college. I got out of college. I worked with a bunch of little and really major ad agencies, working with different companies, different agencies. And a few years in, I really got into digital marketing, which, eventually led me down the road of SEO and digital strategy. But I was in the corporate world for about 10 years, and it was always really fun. But always after a few years, I would get a little antsy and I would move on to the next job. And I didn't realize what that meant until later. And I was searching for something more.
Why do you do what you do?
It's really a passion of mine, because really with SEO, it's all about getting your voice heard and getting your message heard. And I truly believe that every business has a message that they need to share because somebody out there truly needs to hear that message or wants to hear that message. And it's their way to change the world. It's the way to create more impact in people's lives who really need that impact and are looking for that impact. So that's really where, the SEO part stemmed from, and really reaching out to those people. Because for SEO on Google, when people go to Google, they type in something that's on their mind and what they're searching, and they're looking for answers. And so it's really being able to not just get your message out there, but also being able to support those questions for answers.
What is the most dangerous belief an entrepreneur can have?
Oh, this is a great one, is that they know it all. I think with, especially being a business owner and entrepreneur, it's really not just about growing your business. It's about growing your mindset, your skills, your strengths. And the landscape is always changing. Your consumers are always changing and your competitors are always changing. So I think it's, not to sit on your laurels and to actively go out there and become a better person and become a better business owner and, serve your clients better every single day and not ever get lazy in that aspect.
Let's put man aside. How do you know you are successful?
So this was actually, very interesting for me. And I think when I first started, it would have been all about the money. But really, when I started my business, I did it because I wanted to stay home with my son. I wanted to follow my passion. And in that first year and a half of starting a business, I was killing myself. I was working all hours of the day, of the night. And when, my son would go to bed, I would stay late up working. I would work on the weekends. So it eventually got to the point where I was just missing the point in general. I was missing out on my son's life. I wasn't hanging out with my husband, and I really became really lonely. And it wasn't until that part, where I kind of was just like at the saddest point in my life where, my kid and my husband were hanging out all weekend together without me. And I realized that I needed to create change in my business. I needed to hire, I needed to get help, and I needed to get more sleep. So really that was the turning point. And actually when my business became way more successful is when I started working on myself and actually getting the help that I needed. So I think it's really getting to the point in your business where you're bringing in money, but in a way that feels really good with the lifestyle that you want.
You have been in business for a while now. You have met lots of entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs as well. But can anyone be an entrepreneur, or are some people more cut out for it than others?
I think personally that there is a certain type of person, not saying that you can't, become that type of person, but there is a certain type of person that really thrives off of freedom. And they're okay with instability and they're okay with the unknown. And really, I feel that people are actually born with that. And I know that some people will disagree, but I know so many people who have tried entrepreneurship or just have no desire because they want the really comfortable paycheck. They want something that is to them what they feel like is, kind of every month it comes and they expect it to come. Whereas entrepreneurship, it's a lot of ups and downs. It's a lot of jumping into the unknowns. So in that regards, I think that it really does take a type of person. However, from the skill aspect of things of actually running a business and the day-to-day tasks, anyone, if they want to become an entrepreneur, if they have that drive, then they can become the entrepreneur.
What have you learned from business as a whole?
This is such a good question. And for me, it was that, business is not just an outside job, it's an inside job. It's an inside job with not just your company. So not just hiring the right people, not, actually building relationships, really healthy relationships with the people you hire, with your employees, your contractors, and, your customers, but it's also an inside job with you. And working on your mindset, which again, I think goes hand in hand with, every day trying to get better and also just being able to face the unknown and having that grounded stability in your business during those times. And also just, really increasing not just your skills, but your emotional intelligence and your drive to become a better person as a whole. Because really, if you're starting a business, and the most successful businesses I've seen are ones that truly are purpose driven and have that purpose. And it's really hard to keep up with this really purpose driven business if you're not keeping up with yourself internally.
Tell my friend about the magic moment, the day it suddenly all went right for you.
Oh, this is a really good question. I actually think that it was really during quarantine, when the pandemic hit and, a lot of people were just kind of stopping. And I had the mindset then of, having the ability to pivot and to change and to actually see that come to fruition, that if you are constantly growing and pivoting, everything will work in your favor. And so thankfully, our business didn't get hit that hard, because we were able to turn some things around and, actually pivot and make some moves with where the current industry was going. And I felt very, very comfortable in my business and very successful in my business during that time.
What are you still doing in the way you work that you just know you have to stop doing?
I get caught up in the little things that I really shouldn't do and that probably somebody else should be doing. But for me, I love my business and it's really easy for me to get sucked into the little things that probably don't matter. Like, like little tiny graphics for my Instagram or things like that just kind of I like, but they take up way too much time.
How do you make yourself get back on track when something goes wrong?
So it kind of depends on how big this is. But it really stems from working on my mindset and realizing that it's not the end of the world if something doesn't go your way or if something fails, and to really look at it as a learning experience and really staying curious and asking, what is my lesson here and how can I be better? And really, for me personally, who I'm a type A, an overcoming perfectionist. It's really hard for things to go wrong in my world for me. And so that's something that I've really had to work on. And again, it's all about the inside job and really asking yourself, in the scheme of life, like real life, does this matter? And can I take something from this and make myself and my business better?
As you said, what is happening now, you had to really pivot. People who want to really go from offline to online, what advice would you give them?
I would say, well, first of all, start with the website. And again, some people say you don't need a website, but I truly believe that you do need a website. It's your 24/7 salesperson. You can really get across everything you need to get across there. You can explain your business in detail. So that'd be the first one. There's so many programs out there that make it so easy. Squarespace is a really easy one. You don't really have to have, any knowledge of how to build websites at all. You just kind of go there and type in your information. So that'd be the first one. And then just talking about your business in general. When I first started my business and went fully online, I would go out and, in life, and I would tell my friends and I would tell my family, and I would meet people, and, that would come up in conversation. And I would specifically say, hey, I have this business. It's going really great. This is what I do. This is why I love it. If you know anybody, I would love for you to pass along my information. And then of course, give them a card that sends people to my website. And that actually is how I got my first client, was at the gym. And I just met this guy, and, we were running around the same track, and we got into what I did, and literally 2 days later, he hired me. So just, being really connected and getting out there and just being really proud and telling people what you do.
I know for you that worked, but nowadays we have to stay indoors. You can't go to events. You can't go to the gym. So how would they really do this?
Yes. I know. So that would be, following up with friends. I think that's, maybe even taking it to Facebook or your social channels and really connecting with your current network that you already have as much as you can. And also there are so many online networking places now and groups that have just been popping up like crazy since this pandemic. So, they have there are things on Meetup, which is, a company where you can go actually meet up in person, but now they're doing a lot of, Zoom calls, or, there's local networking groups that now used to be in person, but now are all online. So I think it's really tapping into a group that feels good to you. And again, the network that you already have, wherever it may be.
What is the most valuable thing you have ever given away?
Oh, that is a great question. I would say I hosted, from the business side of things, I hosted a full day kind of retreat, all about business and building a business. And this woman reached out to me and, asked me if there's anything that she could do to go for that day. And I listened to her story, and it was such an incredible story. And at the end, I decided to gift her a day and to come. And it was honestly like the best. It made me feel so good, and it made her, help her start her business. So for me, that was one of my proudest moments of, not caring about, another ticket purchase, but really getting to the root of why I started my business in the first place was to really, truly help business owners who had a true purpose and a true want to change this world.
What is one thing that has contributed to your success?
Definitely my support system. I've surrounded my people who 100% believe in me. I had a husband who let me work on the weekends and would take our son all day. I've had, a great nanny who used to come over at the drop of a hat if I needed a few hours here and there. And then I invested in a coach as well. Actually a coach and networking, which I know we just talked about too. So I want to loop back around to that, but making sure that I surrounded myself with people who would celebrate with me and I could celebrate with them, and who would lift each other up, through the great times and the not so great times.
What grounds you?
A lot of meditation, a lot of journaling. It's become a daily practice ever since, the pivot of my business of trying to create that better life for myself and my family, and really finding the true success that I've wanted in a business. So that is probably the number one, or, number one and number two is the meditation and the journaling, and just getting out in nature as well. Here in Phoenix, it's beautiful. So I've been trying to go outside a lot and work outside. And, even when it does get really hot, really cold here, just stepping outside for a second to just breathe in that fresh air or feel that sunshine or feel that wind.
How long did it take you to pay yourself a salary when you started your business?
I guess I started paying myself right away. But it wasn't until like a few months into it or when I decided to start, bringing people on, I did actually, kind of step back and take a hit. To invest in my business again, like going after the unknown of, investing with these people will pay itself forward and will pay itself back, which it did. But again, that did take a few months after I started hiring people and then, working on getting clients in the door and me feeling comfortable with paying myself. And I really could have all along. It was just more of a mindset thing that I needed to overcome. It was like, it's going to be okay if I pay these people working for me and myself too.
What is one thing no one knows about you?
Ooh, that's a great question. My 4-year-old and I have a dance party almost every single morning. So we'll wake up and, we always do our little affirmations together of like, today's going to be awesome. And then he loves to dance. So we'll put on his song that he loves and dance to that. So that's such a great way to start the day and also very grounding as well.
You touched briefly that you have a mentor and also you have these online networks. What is the most valuable thing your mentor has told you?
For me, it's that there's actually two things. So one, she always talks about whatever you desire desires you back. And that's really based around, she said that to me when I was coming from a place of fear of me wanting to do something, but me feeling like maybe I wasn't good enough or it wasn't going to pay off in my business, and really stepping aside and, getting back to that's not real fear. What you desire, go after, and the universe will support you. Because whatever you desire desires you back. So that was one thing. Another thing too is actually, like when talking about fear, really looking at it and saying, okay, well, what if your biggest fear does happen? Like what's going to happen? What's going to happen if you make an investment and you lose a few $1,000s? What's the worst that's going to happen? And really getting into the root of what's making you scared. And most of the time, once you actually follow that train of thought and those questions, you're always going to be okay. You're always going to find a way back. You're always going to be alive. And so really, again, it's not really going to be that bad. So if you do have fears, to truly, think about brushing them aside and just going for it.
Let's talk about your business. Tell us more about it.
So it's called Rising Ranks Digital, and we are an SEO and digital strategy firm. So just like you said, we help our clients get to the top of Google. We help our clients get found online. We work with typically service-based businesses, multiple 6-figure to 7 figures, and we do SEO audits for them, or we'll do monthly management for them and just kind of take over and manage the whole process for them. And we also create digital strategies. So this one is really great for companies who've started to kind of see a plateau in their sales and their success. And they need just someone to come in from the outside and take a look at their marketing and where the holes are and where they're leaking money and where they're missing opportunities. And so it's basically those three: the SEO audits, SEO management, and digital strategy. Which it did not start off like that. It started off with me doing all of the things and me quickly realizing what I liked and what I didn't like. And those three are truly my passion. So it's been really fun to work on everything that I like to do.
Where do we find you and how can we connect to you?
Yeah, so I am on Instagram at Caitlin Strempel, CAITLIN. STRE, M as in Mary, P as in Paul, EL. And then my website is risingranksdigital.com.
Thank you. There will be more from Caitlin in a moment. If you are listening on one of the many podcasting platforms rather than my website and you are encouraged by Caitlin's journey, please go to our website at onlinesuccessjourney.com. The site has tons of audio clips from hundreds of successful entrepreneurs' guests' journey, all there to help you find a path for your own online success journey. The site offers exclusive members-only content and you can join absolutely free and be part of this amazing online success community today. Check it out. That's onlinesuccessjourney.com. Now, Caitlin, I would love for you to share more with my audience if you are up for it.
Yes, of course.
Thank you. If your business was down to its last $100, how would you invest it?
I think I would invest it in going to a networking group. and really being able to make those connections, those one-on-one connections, and getting my name out there.
What is the best business book you have ever read?
Ooh, there is, so I have a few actually, and it's, The Secrets of a Millionaire Mindset. That one is a really good one. And then, there are so many. I Heart My Life was a really great one that was more on the mindset of business. So I would say those two, and they're actually mostly mindset based, which again, creating success in your business from the inside out.
What reassurance or encouragement have you got for my members of clan who are not quite there yet?
I would say that if there's anything that you truly desire, to go after it and to truly realize that, these fears are mostly in your head, and that what you do desires you back, coming full circle around to that, and going after it, and knowing that, big rewards come with jumping into the unknown and the fear.
If you are going to keep a note to yourself in your handbag every day, what would be written on it?
Walk with gratitude and desire. I actually have a little post-it on my computer that says that, and just a reminder of gratitude and desire. Those are the two things that are really going to drive you forward in your life and your business, is desiring the next step, but also being grateful for what you have at that moment in time.
What is your next chapter?
That is a great question. So I am really looking to expand the business, and we are investing in some sales this year and some more employees to really set that in motion and to move forward. And I am expecting my second son in the summer. So really putting those pieces in place and the systems in place to be able to step away for a while and really enjoy that.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Do you feel like you succeeded, or like you're only on the way?
I feel like I've done both. I feel like I've gotten to a really great place in my business that I truly feel fulfilled. But again, I want to go bigger. I know that I have the ability to have more impact on this world, and I'm still going to go after it.
Remind us how we can connect with you.
On Instagram at Caitlin Strempel, and then on my website at risingranksdigital.com.
Caitlin, it's been great to have you here to share your online success journey with us.
Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure.
Thank you. That's a wrap, clan. Remember, success is a journey. Patience and Caitlin.
This is not the end of the journey. We hope you've enjoyed listening to Patience and her guest, and want you to know there are hundreds of episodes available at onlinesuccessjourney.com. Patience would like to thank you for listening to the podcast, and she has a free gift for you on our website, including an audio compilation of her guests' best tips, uplifting stories, and even a bit of fun. Additionally, there are special clips of over 250 episodes that have never aired on the podcast, and they're only available to members of the Online Success Journey. Check the website and click on Join Now to get free and instant access. Of course, you know that listening to the journeys of others helps each of us chart our own path. So make sure you're subscribed on your favorite platform to be notified as each new interview is posted. There are so many ways to stay connected to the Online Success Journey and listen in. And if you're enjoying the podcast, we appreciate your help in telling others. One of the best ways to share the benefit you get is to rate and review the podcast at iTunes and other sites. We appreciate your help and your willingness to share your journey. One last thing. If you're feeling a bit lost or overwhelmed on your own journey, Patience can help. Check out her course on clarity while you're at the website. Finding clarity is a great way to get back on the right path. On behalf of Patience, and until next time, thanks once more for listening. It is our hope that this podcast will guide you on your own online success journey.